mats at school, you know, do I hold my hands here? Am I too close? Is this appropriate? Is this not appropriate? You know, this is new.
So it's like...
We're just like little school kids. We're all like giggly.
Lock your elbow. Once it's here, you're golden. Once you're here, they weigh so much more.
If you time it correctly, you just zip them right over your head, and you're like, whoa, she's up there. And...
Oh, God.
Tessa wants to try.
Why not?
Traditional one.
Love you, Mom.
2. Brave girl. And I just simply think that her job is harder than the guys.
Yep, pull up, pull up. Okay, yeah, that was it. If you had just trusted yourself.
Yeah, I really don't.
My first thought was, oh boy, what have you gotten yourself into? And I can't believe how fearless she is.
Yeah, you gotta have balls to be up there. I'm gonna just flat out say it. You don't only have to be strong, but you really have to want to be up there.
Head up, head up, head up.
I guess I'm gonna have to grow a pair. I don't know.
Take your head down to me.
For her, the advantage she will have is her partner being a figure skater. He'll be really solid underneath her.
That is hard.
Whereas for us, the hockey players, they have a long way to go to get really comfortable with their blade
Sorry.
and to be really solid underneath us.
The only advice I do have is never feel bad about getting out of a lift. Their safety is so much more important.
I still am trying to figure out how the lifts even get onto the ice.
You know, I don't care what happens to me. You know, I can fall flat on my face, I'll be all right, but you don't want to hurt the girls. Look at the accidents last year. I think with those girls coming back, it's a big deal.
I'm in running shoes, standing on a mat in a gymnasium. What am I gonna do when one of these gals is lifted up over my head and we're skating, you know, 10 miles an hour? That's a serious thing. I want to know that when I'm doing it, I'm confident in my ability at that point to know they're safe when they're up there.
Tessa Bonham's Olympic gold medal's tough to match, but her partner has it covered. She will skate with Olympic champion David Pelletier.
Having a female hockey player is definitely a different twist. Do I think we have an advantage? I don't know. It's too soon to tell. Growing up in a very small town, we played hockey in the street every single day. All I wanted to do was lift the Stanley Cup, and I ended up lifting girls for a living.
David fed on competition. When he finally paired with Jamie Soleil in '98, their ascent was meteoric. Hungry, driven, connected. By 01, they were on top of the world.
They will go to the Winter Olympics in Salt Lake City as world champions.
Then, their love story became the story at the 2002 Olympic Games.
One of the great skates in Olympic history.
When the music finished, I kissed the ice because the ice was so good to us. I didn't want to get off. I just did not want to get off the ice.
There is no doubt about what program won the crowd.
The crowd was won, but a judging scandal shook the sport. It took 5 days for Jamie and David to go from silver to gold.
But now they both get to share this gold medal moment.
Anton, Elena, and Jamie and I, even though we were competitors on the ice, we both toured together for 4 years. We've talked about everything in life except really Salt Lake City, because really, what is there to talk about? She's one of the best pair skater in the last 50 years. The guy that's going to skate with her is extremely lucky.
Elena Berezhnaya. Once more, David will compete against his arch rival. Elena, a two-time world champion and Olympic champion, realizes the challenge ahead.
Working with hockey players, I think it's going to be a huge difference. I don't know what to expect at all.
6 more skating stars join Elena in the women's cast. Kingston-born Tanith Belbin, 5 U.S. titles, 3 times on the world podium, and Olympic silver, the first in U.S. dance history.
Having that type of accomplishment is so incredible and something I will carry so much pride in for the rest of my life.
Kim Navarro's love of skating was honed on Snoopy's home ice.
Because I grew up at the rink that Charles Schultz built, I always did shows. I was skating either as myself or as Woodstock, Snoopy's little friend. That's, I think, one of the reasons I fell in love with skating was because of performing. It created what I would do for the rest of my life and why I would love it so much.
Marcy Hinsman Harris had a great career as a pair skater and competed at the Olympics for the USA. Then she became one of the world's most dynamic adagio skaters. Her experience will come in handy.
That's kind of an interesting dynamic for me with this show. I have a background in pair skating, but I also have the adagio aspect as well. So I hope that kind of works in my advantage.
In season 1, Marie-France Dubré set incredible standards for the competition, then took time away from skating to have her first child.
I thought World and Olympic were an amazing experience, but being a mother just surpasses all this.
A guest judge last season, the fire was renewed.
I felt like, oh my God, I would love to be on the ice right now. I feel like I should be warming up.
The Moscow Circus on Ice loss is our gain as gravity-defying Violetta Fenicieva returns to Battle of the Blades.
What I love the most about doing Battle of the Blades is that I get to share my passion, my performance with someone who never did that before.
Canadian Olympian Annabelle Langlois brought her fearless nature to last year's competition.
As a pair girl, you're told to be tough every day. There's no time to be scared of anything. The most important thing my partner needs to do to win the show is listen to me.
Oh my God, you got to look at the bag you have.
It's ping. I got it at a golf tournament. It's awesome.
It's a figure skating bag.
That's a figure skating bag. Wait.
They all have different strengths and weaknesses, I think. So some of the guys that are good lifters are maybe not as good at the steps.
The more you do it, the more comfortable you feel, and the repetition helps you out. So you need a lot more repetition.
So what are we doing today? We're doing choreography.
Kurt starts.
Kurt's going to start and talk about relating to a partner.
Yes.
And then we're going to teach them how to count. How to count music.
One of our
lesson.
first things is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Okay.
So
our sport is not pure in the essence of get there first, win. It's being able to pull the crowd along with you on your journey to the finish line.
You're going to build programs, you're going to learn choreography, you're going to conquer the toe pick, and it will all feel subpar if you get to the moment and then can't make the sale. And the sale is when the audience buys what you're selling. You'll always be pretty much this close to your partner for weeks at a time, hours in the day, expecting to do all sorts of eyes closed, movie stuff. And all this stuff is going to have to come in, and if this moment at the end, if that isn't real.
I wanted to let them know that chemistry between them is acting.
It was awkward in the beginning because I don't think any of us have really done that, ever. I'm very conscious of my breath. This is our own.
They were supremely aware of this creature beside them and didn't really know what to do with it.
That's close.
Yeah.
Doing certain moves and looking in her eyes and getting close. I'll have to whip out my good acting, my sensitive side. Well, nobody else wants to dance with me. I knew I should have dyed my hair like Kale. Put some frosted tips in.
I'm gonna have to learn to be sexy. I'm gonna have to learn to work it. The girl is the glitz and the glam.
Okay.
She's used to the helmet, hockey gear, everything, and she's gonna wear a little silk dress and tights.
You guys are going to look fantastic, but that's got to be real for 3 minutes.
You know, I remember in high school, part of our phys ed class was ballroom dancing, and I was probably the guy that goofed off the most, and sure enough, it's come back to bite me in the butt for sure. I grew up actually in a small town just outside of Saskatoon, Saskatchewan called Langham. The town was very small, about 1,200 people. You know, the rink kind of had an open door policy. That's where you went. As soon as you woke up, you went to the rink. Just running around being a rink rat. That's what I did as a kid.
Position moves in, scores! Kurt's rink rat to glory journey began in 1988. He went third overall to Quebec. 7 seasons later with Colorado, he lifted the Stanley Cup.
After we scored to win Game 4 in Florida, it was a triple overtime game. The weight of the world just left your shoulders. It was like you actually felt like you were floating in midair. It was a dream come true, absolutely.
You wanted it, Joe. You got it.
Joe Sakic was our captain. He hoisted the cup, and the next guy to get it is somebody that, you know, the team kind of respects a little bit. It's a veteran player, and he gave it to me, and that was, for me, a huge thrill. So for me to get the cup after the captain, Joe Sakic, had received it is a memory I'll always have ingrained in my mind, for sure.
Curtis hung them up in 2005, but